A year ago, I had recently been laid off. Through the course of being furloughed and then laid off, I had progressively been gaining weight. But all of a sudden, a pound here and a pound there turned into pounds. Pounds here and pounds there. I was gaining, and I was gaining fast. I was struggling more and more each day to do tasks like tying my shoes. I had to take breaks if I walked the 800 feet to the mailbox and back. My face was unrecognizable to me. I was slipping into a depression. I could feel it. Being furloughed put me in a dark place. But being laid off may be the best things that has ever happened to me. In an instant, what I felt was so secure. What I had dedicated most of my time to was gone. At the end of the day, I was expendable. This led me to question what I was doing with my life in so many ways. It helped me in a very strange way understand finally that I am my own responsibility. My health is my responsibility, my own. The people I love and care about, professionals that I seek counsel from, they will never be my answer. I am my only answer. I am the only one that can change my life. I couldn't neglect myself any longer, and I knew that if I didn't take the time to learn how to live a healthy life without extremes or crash diets or defining my worth by the number on the scale, I was doomed. Up until this point, I thought the only way I could lose weight was in extremes. That was wrong. While my weight loss has been slower than I imagined it would be, I have found peace. The peace of mind and self-control I have developed is truly something else. Learning to trust myself has been epic. Learning to spot a spiral and work through it, so powerful. Learning to stand up for what I need has been life-changing. While my journey hasn't been perfect, and it's definitely not linear, it has been progressive. I validate myself. I am doing this for me. I own my journey. I am saving my own life.
Hello. Hey beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. Hey beautiful people. Good morning, beautiful people. Welcome. Hello, beautiful people. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, Wake Up Bright, where I share all of the things that help me live each day a little brighter. I'm April Lauren, and I'm on a journey to lose a little less than 150 pounds now. This year has been about so much more than a weight loss. There has been weight loss. A lot of weight loss, I think. But this year has been about increasing my mobility, increasing my quality of life on a daily basis, taking control and ownership of my day-to-day life, learning how to eat in a sustainable way that helps me not feel triggered and helps me understand how my body works. I have had so many non-scale victories, so many quality of life wins. My non-scale points of measures, it's amazing how much more I can do now. I am so excited to share a little overview of my last year. While my weight loss has not always been linear, it is progressive. I have consistently lost, and I'm just excited. I'm excited to share with you the video, the stats, all of the things. I will also be doing a 12-month update video that will have like measurements last month to this month. Without further ado, let's get into the quality of life wins. The first win that I want to talk about is that I don't struggle to put on my pants. I don't know when it got so easy for me. I just stand and put on my pants like I have most of my life. But this time last year, I had to sit on the bed and do one leg at a time. I also had to do that with shoes, anything. It was very hard for me to shave even the bottom part of my leg. It was, my quality of life where this is concerned has increased so much. I don't struggle to shave my legs. I don't struggle to put my pants on. I can tie my shoes by bending over and tying them or squatting down. And this may be something that most people don't think of, but it's something that I think of all of the time now, and I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that I can take care of myself in this basic way without having to get creative. Before, it was a struggle for me to reach around myself, so like even going to the bathroom was a struggle. So it's hard to talk about some of these things. It's embarrassing. It's also things that we just don't think about on a daily, like I don't think about these things daily. So when I was going over like my list of things that I had written down in my journal that I couldn't do, that I had used to be able to, I felt a lot of shame and a lot of guilt that I had gotten to that point. If you are there now, just know, slow, sustainable change. Just pick one thing today to change, and good habits will snowball, and you'll start doing more and more and more, and that will be so wonderful. It just takes a little bit of time and a lot of consistency. So go slow and just pick the things that you can be consistent with. Next quality of life win that I have on my list is that my periods are regular, with the exception of this last month where I did the video. I thought I might be pregnant because it was the first time I had been late in a long time. I think it was just the stress of moving and everything, but I am very irregular. My menstrual cycle is very regular. Also, I have PCOS, and that comes with lots of extra body hair, and I have noticed recently that while I still have hairs in places that I don't want hairs, the growth is a lot slower. So some of these symptoms that I have are subsiding, and that's really fantastic. Also, I don't even know how much housework I would have to do in order to need to sit down. I don't know. When we were cleaning in Missouri, well, when I was cleaning in Missouri before we left, I was scrubbing that house top to bottom for hours and hours and hours, and I never stopped because my body needed me to stop. Before, it was like 10 minutes. If I was standing there just washing a few dishes, my lower back would hurt so bad that I would have to lean on the counter. And I don't experience that at all anymore, so that is a huge quality of life win. Also, when I go out to eat with my husband, I no longer, and this was a big one for me, I no longer have to calculate if the booth is gonna fit. I used to get so upset, like I would have to be first, because I didn't ever want to explain this, but like if booths aren't always even on each side, and so I'm like, I need the bigger side. If I don't get the bigger side, there's no way I'm gonna fit. I don't even think about that anymore. I just slide right in, and that is very, it's such a relief, and I'm so grateful for that. Also, when I go for walks now, I have to actually push myself. If I'm just walking, my heart rate isn't elevating. It stays pretty low. So like walking and standing, there's not much difference unless I'm walking in the heat or like there's some kind of other factor. Whereas last year, just standing, my heart rate would elevate quite a bit. And speaking of heart rate, my resting heart rate has gone from about 91 beats per minute to 66 beats per minute. My heart is having to work so much less to just sustain my life. And there's no telling how much damage that I have done to my organs being the weight that I was, even the weight that I am. I am just grateful that I have this Apple Watch and that it tracks so many things for me. That wasn't even at the beginning of my journey, because I didn't get my Apple Watch, I think it might have been September or something that I got the Apple Watch. So I didn't even have it when I very first started. So amazing to me. It is amazing to me. Also, the Apple Watch has told me about my asymmetry when I'm walking. This is really, really cool. But my score was an 8.3. Now my walking score is a 3.2. So the difference has gotten a lot less, which I feel when I do my mile for times and things like that, or even when I'm just walking like leisurely, I can tell that I'm spending about the same time on each leg. Whereas before, my left leg is just the leg that I have a lot of injuries on. I was not able, like my right side, my body's so imbalanced right now because of that injury and then my weight. But I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that my walking gait is more normal, that my thighs no longer push out. It really cracks me up. A lot of my before pictures, I've gotten some criticism, not a lot. When I get criticism, I would say it's 2% or less. And 2% is like a lot. Like that's a lot. I would say it's probably less than 1%. But people would be like, oh, you've got your leg popped up in the old one and that's why it looks different. No, my thighs, the flesh between my thighs was so great that I couldn't just stand with both feet on the ground. I had to lean to one side to reach. I no longer, well, I can't say I no longer. I have not binged. There has been one time for sure that I had the feeling, and I don't know that everybody who does this or who has binge eating disorder feels these same things. When I binge, it's not like I'm just overeating. It's not like I just go out and I have something that's bad. It is this emotional response, like trauma response. It's chaotic and it spirals and I lose control of myself. That's what happens. And then as a result of that losing control, that need to punish myself, then I eat. It has never been a comfort thing for me. It has never been something that I have gotten pleasure from. It always comes from a very negative and very toxic place, which is why a few months ago when I almost did, and then I was able to talk myself off of the ledge, that was huge for me. And I think part of it is just the way that I've been eating for the past year. I've just created new habits. I have so many habits. I have so many layers of things that keep me stable. And yeah, so I don't have all of the answers there, and I definitely would not compare your journey to my journey with regards to any sort of disordered thinking, or whether it's depression or it's anxiety or it's binge eating, whatever it is. I wouldn't compare your experience or judge your experience to somebody else's because it's so unique. Even just weight loss in general is like this. The probably most important thing that I've learned over the past year is to not give anyone else's opinions space to control my actions. All change has to come from within me, and it needs to work towards my benefit. If other people's negative opinions, now there's constructive criticism, and then there is just being hateful and negative or giving unsolicited advice. Unsolicited advice is not the same thing as constructive criticism. Constructive criticism, yeah, just do research. But always look at things critically, and that's a different thing. You should always be judging, especially on social media, what people are saying and thinking about it critically. Like, what does it mean? What are they doing? What is the why behind what they're doing? In addition to these quality of life wins, I have several non-scale points of measure that I have done, and I'm gonna go over those right now. My non-scale points of measure I've added to over time, so not all of these start a year ago, but the first one is a mile for time, which I most recently did a video on this one, and I can complete a mile for time in 17 minutes and 58 seconds. Last year, it took me 41 minutes and 31 seconds. I have improved my 1 mile for time by 23 minutes and 33 seconds. More than that, though, I don't really experience any pain. Nothing stands in my way of completing it, and that is amazing. The second non-scale victory and point of measure that I have is Kettle Hill, which is a kettlebell workout that my workout buddy Yenna found, and you do 5 rounds of this workout for time. Well, the first time I did it was on the 20th of July, and it took me 45 minutes and 57 seconds to complete. now I can do it in 13 minutes and 40 seconds to complete the 5 rounds. So it is 16 kettlebell swings, 14 kettlebell squats, and this is double kettlebells, so you hold 2 kettlebells while you do these. Then it is 12 walking lunges, 10 push presses, and then you walk 80 meters with the kettlebells. So, and you do that for time. I can do that now 5 rounds in 13 minutes and 40 seconds. It's an amazing improvement of 32 minutes and 17 seconds. The next is cycling, and I haven't done this in a while. My bike is no longer working, so are the cycling 10 miles for time. In December, I did it for the first time, and it was 39 minutes and 42 seconds. Now I can do 10 miles in 27 minutes and 59 seconds, and that's an improvement of almost 12 minutes. I can also walk 3 miles. I can walk 6 miles actually without stopping, and I could probably walk further than that, but 6 has been the furthest I've gone. In 3 miles, if I'm timing it on a track, I can do it in 56 minutes and 57 seconds, which is an improvement of a little over 7 minutes. So lots of non-scale points of measure. I also like to do progress photos and progress videos, so we're going to look at that now. Looking at the side-by-side comparisons is always one of my favorite things to do. I typically like looking at the front better than the side, but I think with the side, looking at that very first month, the end of the first month to now is just such an incredible difference. And I really can never see my progress as well as I can when I'm looking at these photos. I feel my progress all of the time, but I love that these photos allow me to see it. Let's look at the front. The front is just amazing to me. The front, and then from like in the video you guys will see, I can tell on the back. It's just hard for me to get a similar stance taking the back, but I did try. So we're going to look at some then and nows in just a minute. But I love in the front that you can see how much easier it is for me to just stand with my feet close together. There's also no pain involved with me putting my feet together. Back at the end of month 2 or the end of month 1, I was trying so hard to get my feet together in those videos, and it always like hurt my knees. Trying to get my knees together. It's just crazy to me. But I love that you can really see it in my neck, in my face, in my waist, in my stomach. My stomach used to hang down so low, and now I still got the hanging tummy a little bit, but it's so much higher. Like, I don't want to be too graphic with my descriptions, so we're just going to move on. I didn't take the best before pictures that I used for most of my journey, and I was scrolling through my phone a couple months ago, and that's when I first shared this photo of me on the right. I was just amazed at how different I look. Now I've got my foot pointed out and stuff, and that's just me extending my leg. Like, I can hold my leg perpendicular to or parallel to the floor in front of me just fine and balance on one leg. In the other picture, I am standing with one leg cocked up because that was the way that I could put both feet on the ground. Like, both feet could not reach the ground at the same time and be anywhere near each other. And if I were to step wide enough, it was just I was so incredibly uncomfortable. Everything was uncomfortable. Laying, sitting, walking, standing, doing anything was so uncomfortable. And when I look at this photo, I can see why. I literally could not reach to check myself for ticks. I'm not going to get too into detail, but my quality of life is crazy better. Yes, I still have a long way to go. I'm only 1/4 of the way to my goal. And I don't know if I'll go all the way to my goal. I'm pretty sure I will. I set my goal. I didn't set it all the way down as low as I could possibly go. But just amazing. These
left and right side, I think because it's a mirror image too, it's just amazing to me seeing like me back to back and also facing myself. That's pretty powerful facing myself. And then from the back, it's just amazing, the change in my arms, the change in my stomach, the change in my feet, the change in my face. One of the first things I did when I started my weight loss journey way back at 352.8 pounds was I decided I was not waiting until some future version of me to do things like buy workout clothes. For a long time, I'd put things like that off for a future version of myself that I felt would be worthy. So I just started immediately. And that is one of my favorite things that I've done, because while some of these videos are hard to look at, like I like that I'm wearing similar or the same outfits in all of them, and that I'm able to track, and that I felt good. I genuinely felt good at the end of each of these month update videos. I always feel good when I look at the footage. I don't always feel good when I film the footage. It usually takes taking the pictures and lining them up side by side for me to get that surge now. But for those first few months, it was awesome because I had like that newness aspect, like I was doing things differently and I was doing it and it was exciting. And this time is so different because during those phases with that excitement, I really started building habits. Did I do it perfectly? Of course not, but I really started building the habits that have taken me through, and consistently I have shown up month after month after month, and I really hit a hard spot right after this 4-month update video, and that brings us into December, and December was just really rough. I did feel like the cutest I had felt in a long time for that November update though. So when I did my 5th month update video, I had gained weight. I had been sick and I didn't eat anything unhealthy to gain weight. I had gained a lot of weight and it was unfortunate. But by the time January rolled around and I did my 6-month update, I had shed those lbs that I had put on when I was in the hospital. So that was really good. And I'm so proud of myself just looking back that I had the resolve and that I pushed through. Like I had the perfect reason to fall off. But I have the everything reason. I needed to change my life, and that's what I'm doing. There is no going back. Even being sick, like that gave me even more reason to press forward, and I did. In the 7th month in February, that's when I started 75 hard, and I feel like that's when things really started to pick up again after I kind of hit rock bottom, and then I did my 10 miles for time, and that's when I realized that I could push myself, I could do hard things, and I decided to do 75 hard. When I started 75 hard, I started seeing better results, and I think that comes mostly, as I've shared in those past videos, from just increasing my movement throughout the day, which is still something that I am focusing hard on, is that getting constant movement as opposed to only getting movement during my workouts. And I'm just proud that I have continued on all the way until now. So that being said, my weight is not much different now than it was at this 9-month update. However, looking at this 9-month update, the way my weight has shifted and changed is pretty impressive to me. That it definitely makes it less disheartening that I have experienced the gain that I have. I can say that while I did pause, I never took my eye off the ball. I never gave myself permission to just eat whatever I want, and I never stopped working out. I never stopped approaching my life with a healthy style. So when I got done with 75 hard, I was at my lowest of 297.2. And then when we had our anniversary, my husband graduated, we moved to a place of higher climate. My weight did go up, and I talked about that at length in this 11th month update video, and I've talked about it since. And my weight has just kind of hovered around this this area. It gets a little bit higher than this sometimes, and then it gets lower. Right now I am lower. I am at 301.2 as of this morning, and I am very proud of that. And even without the weight, if you take the weight out of the equation, I can see so much change. And I also know physically there has been so much change in just what I can do. It's like every day I can do more than the day before, and that is such a blessing. It is so amazing. And you may be like, well, you only lost like a fourth of your goal. Why are you patting yourself on the back? It's because it's hard. It's hard to be consistent, and no one is going to get you there. You have to get yourself there. I have to be my own cheerleader, and that's what I'm doing here. That's what I've learned, is to cheer for myself, celebrate the small things, and that leads to consistency, and that is how I am going to get all the way to my goal. I know it. The lessons that I've learned and the way that I've begun to really take charge of my life and the calmness that it has brought is really unlike anything else. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for the lessons that I've learned. I'm so grateful for the pounds that I've shed. I'm so grateful for the people in my life that encourage me, and for you encouraging me. I'm just unbelievably grateful.
Learning that I am in control of myself, which sounds like a silly thing to learn, because it's like, well, of course you are. But it's so easy to slip into not owning your journey. Owning my journey has been the most powerful thing. And the ability to move has been freeing. And I am just so grateful. Thank you so much for those of you who have been following me along on my journey and encouraging me. Those of you who are new, thank you for being here and for encouraging me. It has been an amazing year, and I cannot wait to see what this next year brings. I'm so excited. I am so unbelievably excited. I love you. You are worthy of living your best, healthiest, brightest life that you can right now today. And that mantra that I share with you guys so often, that I share with myself daily, there's power there. I don't need to wait to do anything. I need to live my best, healthiest, brightest life that I can safely right now, today. I love you, and I will see you next time.